Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and today I got a good one for you. M3GAN. That is what I'm going to be talking about. It's been a while. I'm excited about this one because it's been a minute since I have seen a horror movie in theaters, and I am happy to report that I just saw a pretty good horror movie in the month of January, no less, which is you as my fellow film lovers will attest to, January is not a good month for us, but M3GAN is the exception. So honestly, I don't have a lot to say plot wise about M3GAN. If you've seen the trailers, you know the plot. I don't feel the need to recite it to you. If you've seen Child's Play, you'll pretty much know how some of this is going to go. It is not verbatim a ripoff of Child's Play. Let me make that clear. People did make that comparison when the movie was announced, when the trailer came out. I would not call this a straight up ripoff of Child's Play. M3GAN is very much its own thing. It takes deliberate steps to make sure that it's its own story, but there's a bit of Child's Play in there, and it kind of goes the way you're gonna think it goes if you've seen Child's Play. And that's not an insult. That's just kind of that's my way of doing the plot synopsis for this movie. But it's not an insult because I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I really did. It is. I was not expecting a horror comedy. It was kind of hinted at that this movie would kind of be a bit more comedic and satirical just because of its over the top marketing campaign that's still going on. I know there's stuff on like TikTok and Instagram and whatnot. So it's kind of been hinted at that this wasn't gonna be, the grittiest, most terrifying horror movie. It was hinted at that this wasn't gonna be something that was in the same vein as The Conjuring, something that takes itself really seriously and just wants to scare the crap out of you. And yeah, it doesn't take itself super seriously. It's not a straight up horror comedy like, say, Krampus. I haven't watched too, or Shaun of the Dead. That's another one. But at the same time, it's also very aware of what it is, and it does not take itself super seriously. And I'm happy it doesn't. It commits to the absurdity of this idea of a of a $10,000 children's toy. That's what they say in the movie. Yeah, a $10,000 sentient children's toy with this super intelligent AI that binds to the child going rogue. It knows that it's a crazy over the top movie, and it definitely commits to that. There is one scene that's not played for laughs in the context of the movie, but is obviously meant to be a bit, it's obviously meant to be, kind of comical to the viewers. That just I was the only one in the theater who laughed, but it got me. Like I was laughing pretty hard at it, and it was not meant to be funny, but it's something that just came out of nowhere that I just had to laugh at it. And I think that's kind of the point. Like, it wants this movie kind of once again, this movie kind of wants you to laugh at the absurdities of this premise, and it succeeds in that. And it was a pleasant viewing experience. It's not one of my all time favorite horror movies of all time, and it doesn't need to be. A lot of movies these days aren't my all time favorites, but they're still very enjoyable to watch. And M3GAN is in the enjoyable category. Go see it in theaters and have a good time with it. I think you'll enjoy it plot wise. You'll just enjoy this this silly and simultaneously creepy premise, because I'm talking a lot about the comedy and internet and the scene where I laugh, but don't get me wrong, there are some scenes in this movie that are kind of creepy and scary, so it's not without its scares. But I would say, just because I feel that it was directed in a very self-aware way, that I found it more funny than scary. But there's some moments where I was like, oh, that was unpleasant. But since I'm reviewing a horror movie, I have to say I do have to put it out there that this movie didn't scare the crap out of me. I didn't nearly wet myself or anything. And let me just go on record by saying I am very easy to scare. I am a horror fan, but it's not, my top genre. And I go a lot of times to horror movies, kind of dread, with a sense of dread, kind of being nervous about, the jump scares getting to me and whatnot. So I am very easy to scare. And I can't really think of a scene in M3GAN that made me go like, oh my God, I'm terrified. That did not happen because it was more funny than anything. But I will say that, the premise itself is kind of creepy, and definitely the way that M3GAN looks, the way she is designed, is kind of more on the eerie side, especially when they're in kind of the pre when especially before they put her together, when they're kind of like working on the concept, like you see how she looks without everything. That was kind of unsettling, but other than that, uh, yeah, to me it was a very self-aware movie that knows what it is. It's there to entertain you, make sure you have a spooky good time, and it succeeds. And that's pretty much all I have to say about M3GAN. Fun watch. Very surprisingly good January horror movie. I've noticed a positive trend in January movies, and I hope for all the years to come that continues. Gone are the days of cheap, poorly acted, poorly written horror movies made for like $50 that rake in millions at the box office. And here are the days of people actually trying to make a solid horror movie. So thank God that's here. I really enjoyed M3GAN. I had a blast watching it. It was surprisingly more funny and self-aware than I expected, and I give M3GAN a 7.5 out of 10. Usually I don't do 7 point decimals, but that's what I give M3GAN. Not quite worthy of an 8, just because it didn't do anything groundbreaking. Um, I knew pretty much, like I said, if you've seen Child's Play, you're gonna know what happens, and you're gonna get the gist of where how the movie starts and how it ends. Nothing surprised me. I knew where it was going, but it was a blast. Fun, a lot of fun to watch. So not quite worthy of a whole 8. So once again, 7.5 out of 10 for M3GAN. This has been another episode of Wade Watches, and I'll see you all next time.